Yo, yo, yo. Testing, un, deux, trois. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's take a look at chat. We got Dazzling in chat. Luke Moraes. Only Jane Doe. Welcome. Art lesson. I mean, it depends what you get out of it. It's going to be more of a chilled session today, but we're going to have some fun. Julius Draws. OOBI. Good morning. Aurorag. Great to have you. Dazzling Luke Julia. Castoware. Thunguns. What's going on? So today I want to do a little bit of just a chilled session. So for those of you that weren't around, we did this guy, right? We drew this guy, a couple of days ago for Proco, the 12 days of Proco. I really liked him. So what I'm thinking is I want to color this guy, but I also want to do some sculpting as well. So we're gonna crack open the old blender. We're gonna have a hell of a time. EFS3, great to have you. Ariel Rafidison. I'll just hang out while people start rolling in. Eclectic Print Society, greetings, welcome my friend. Algae Illustrations, got any advice for an art student wanting to improve stylized art? Such a broad question, but to give a broad answer, you've probably almost guarantee you've got like artists that you admire and you've got like a bunch of their images, right? Start getting actionable about what you're going to be doing with those images. I'm making a lot of assumptions here because I don't know you. I've never talked to you before, but if instead of just copying them, for example, start getting actionable about what you like about them. Is it the line? Is it the color? Is it the lighting? Is it the shapes? Once you start doing that, then you can start moving into, all right, today I'm going to start practicing shapes. Okay, off of this particular artist, how do they tackle the shape of the head, nose, eyes, blah, 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 blah. So it's sort of like starts giving you almost, without it sounding like boring, almost like a to-do list in a way. All right, so it's like, all right, now there's a goal instead of this sort of hazy, bloody, just, I want to get better, let's just practice. It gives you a bit of a goal. At least that's what I've done. So take it with a grain of salt. There is no right or wrong with any of this stuff. Marla, good evening from Winnipeg, Canada. Great to have you. All right, let's get cracking. So the first little bit that I'm thinking about, Miss Gia Havonia, welcome. Mobin, great to have you. Sorry, I've got to say hi. I've got to say hi. Alexander. Artistic, hey, been 2 streams in 1 weekend. I know, right? Alex, welcome back. Super. Gonna need your help with Blender today. That's for sure. I'm gonna try and do a full figure. Don't know how that's gonna go. We'll see. Dylan, welcome. Demon, anatomy is ridiculously hard for me. You and everyone else, my friend. All right, so I would like to, let's get this bloody pen tablet working the way I want it on the screen that I want it to work on. Fantastic. All right, check. So let's see what we did here. So we've got old mate standing. I've got a bit of reference here. So this is just stuff that I've pulled from Pinterest, from sort of art, but I was very particular about why I like certain things. It's not like, oh, I want mine to look like this piece here, right? For example, I like the lighting of this piece. I like the shapes of this one. I like the simplicity of this one and the color pops. I like the time of day in this one. So I'm kind of like mix and matching them, if that makes sense. Nordis, Ben, is there a review on your work setup, especially the chair? I would not recommend this chair. I need to get a new one, if I'm honest. Not like I don't recommend it. It was just a cheap one that I got many a year ago. And yeah. Don't do what I do. Okay. So what do I want to do? Maybe I want to do one more quick pass. So yeah, this is just a chilled one. There's no real challenges with this. I just want to draw today. Draw and paint and explore and learn and have a bloody good time and hang out and chat. So if you're down with that, stick around. I'll be going back and forth with chat. Smoothing. So what? I'm kind of tossing up. How far should I take that? Maybe I get like some basic values done on this guy first. So I might start in black and white, let's say. Then I might crack open Blender and start chipping away at it. And then depending on how far we get with Blender, then I could come back and start doing some stuff. Who knows? Who knows? It's a variety stream today. It is what it is. But hopefully you get something out of it. Okay. You're blendering the images. Hey-o. Alright, so I want to get clearer. Now the thing here is we do need to, if we're doing Blender, it is going to be beneficial to us if we get clear about these shapes, right? Because if we're not clear about the shapes, then there's going to be a lot of guesswork and a lot of frustration. Which is not what we want. So simple, real simple expression here, nothing fancy at all. She's got a bit of that kind of, I'm too cool for you, look what I just did, you're welcome for being in my presence sort of vibe going on. Super Trooper, I'm here, but ask away. Legend. Alright, so I'll quickly just come through and refine some of these shapes. Now from memory, we're looking up at him, at least from this area. So if we were to break this down, right, into, let's do like a Kim Jong-gi-esque kind of breakdown. If we were to look at this in a simplified sort of way, this is what I'm seeing here. We've got the back of the cube, or the rectangle here, the horizon line about here, right? So all the shapes up on this side here, we're going to be looking up at. So we're going to see if we put like a cube here inside this cube, we're going to do cubeception. We would see the underside of the cube. And as we get closer and closer to the horizon line, the less and less of that underside of the cube we would see. But the opposite is true then for below the horizon line. Right, as we get closer and closer or further away from the horizon line, the more and more of the top of that cube we're going to see, right? So that's what I'm seeing here. So we've got to keep in mind, say if we're doing the feet, we're not going to see the undersides of the feet, right? The feet aren't going to be upturned like that. We're going to be seeing the tops of them. So we're really going to make sure that the lines that we're throwing down conveys that. Pencil, appreciate you. Thanks for popping in. Actelion, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Can we see the layers? Oh yeah, let's get my bloody head out of the way. I look terrible this morning. Yeah. I'm working on one layer. Nothing crazy. Mima, love watching your stuff while I work. I'm a graphic designer, but it helps me get into my creative flow. Thanks so much for showing up for us every week. Much appreciated. My pleasure, Mima. DJ, are you okay, Ben? You doesn't looks good. Yeah, I think I'm a bit run down, to be perfectly honest with you. It's a bit run down. Need to get probably a few more hours sleep. You see the eye bags going. And the lighting probably doesn't help either. Lighting is bloody everything. As I've started to get into YouTube and all that sort of stuff, it's fucking absolutely everything. It's also everything when it comes to rendering as well. But I appreciate your concern, DJ. Buenas Sportifs Kabili. Name this brush, please. It is the long skinny line. You can go check that out on my Gumroad. Dazzling. Anybody else redrawing older stuff? It's a good question. I technically am. This is older stuff from a day or so ago. Obi's hobby. Did you learn anatomy? I would rephrase that and say yes, but I am always learning anatomy. It never ends. I'm never done. It's a continual battle and party. Depends on how you see it. Technically correct. It's the best kind of correct. That's it. Could also be annoying as well. Technically, I'm drawing one of my old pieces. I have a thing about calling it a piece as well. I don't know why. I'm weird with that sort of shit. Like even saying like an artist or like, I'm talking about myself. Other people doing that, I could give two shits. But it's like, I don't know. Dazzling, learn the skeleton in December. Is that what you're saying? You're learning the skeleton, or you want us to learn the skeleton in December? I do love the skeleton. It is so fun because it's the structure behind everything, right? But mind you, not everything, like you got muscles and all that sort of stuff, but it's the stability. It's the stuff that I can rely on, like here. This is the bone, the skeleton, that I can rely on to then hang everything else on, right? Hang the meat off of. Sounds, yeah, I don't know what that sounds like. It seems as if you apply what you know about anatomy into shape design. I really love it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. All this is technically incorrect. But you can, there's no rules to any of this stuff, so you do whatever you want. So now I'm just getting a bit clearer with some of these shapes. So we're actually looking down, so we might not actually see, oh, excuse me. Might not actually see too much of where this clothing kind of connects to the boots, right? And we're going to be looking down, so even these creases here, we're going to be looking down on them. If you know what I mean. Nah, blissful, you're just in time. Super, I know how that feels, like you're trying to talk about what you like to do, but you don't want it to be about the status of being called an artist. 1000% super. Like, it does sound very pretentious to me, but only in the context of me. I'll call other people artists. Like, oh, dude, you're an artist. Like, da-da-da-da-da. I've got no issue, but yeah, it's weird. Nah, blissful, you're bang on time. Dazzling, nothing like applying 3D sculpting into 2D drawing, at least for me. I love it. Gabrielle Franklin, welcome. Fahar, you can draw everything by mastering basic shape and 3D form. Is that true? I would say so. Because what is everything? Maybe certain, like, I don't know, lighting effects and stuff. You've got to think a little bit more abstractly. But technically speaking, everything is based in the 3D world. So if you can master 3D forms, then the world is your oyster. That sounded very Australian. The world is your oyster. Mate, don't even worry about it. Just learn the bloody 3D forms and just get out there. Give it a whirl. But no, it's definitely, you're correct. Everything is perspective. Ooh, how philosophical. Terror Bite, great to have you. You're another great stream. Hope so. I hope so. It's just started. We'll see. We'll see. The morning is young. How do you know when you've mastered 3D? Anything to look out for? I don't know if there's a point in time when you understand that you've like mastered it. I don't think I've mastered it by any means. So if you could get back to me with an answer on that one, that'd be fantastic. But once I knew I was on the right track, let's say, when I could start drawing this without reference, not like that's a goal of mine, but it's sort of like I don't need a reference of a belt in this exact position. All right, I don't need a reference of a head in this exact position to make it look good. And even if some things might technically not be right, if we sort of gridded all this out and everything like in perspective, if it looks good, it looks good, you know? So it's, I don't think like that sounds like the mentality of like reading the dictionary to get good at learning a language. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, cool, I've read the dictionary. It doesn't, I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but it's kind of the similar thing, like, of what use is it to have quote unquote mastered. And I don't know, I reckon you ask any artist, there we go, worth their whatever, they'll say they're still learning. They've not mastered it. Yeah, today's going to be a rambly one. I can feel it. MK, oh, I love the shapes you use for the forearms. Can never get those damn things right. Yeah, the forearms, they're a fun one. Because you can even look at your own. Because there's a bulky side and a flat side. Right, that's what makes them look more 3D, and depending on the twist of the arm is like how, like what side that sort of wraps around the 3D shape. They are one of my more fun things to draw when they look right. But if they don't look right, they're frustrating as fuck. We're approaching the time to start slapping on some values, I think. I reckon so. So what I might do, how are we gonna do this? I like using, shout out, the Filthy plugin to throw on, I'm in Photoshop 2023. That's all right. When we come back from Blender, I'll switch to 2024, which has the updated Filthy plugin. But sometimes I do like to fill in shapes with the plugin like this, right? What I've been actually doing recently, I still use the Filthy plugin for a different section of the process, but to get like the super crisp lines that you can edit after the fact, actually just using the pen tool. Somewhat therapeutic as well. You're just like, okay, let's just turn on a podcast or music or whatever and just go to town. And it gives you the crispest shape ever, and you can just keep it there and use it as a mask. You could do whatever really. But then when we get into the nitty gritty of the rendering and whatnot, I'll go back into the Filthy plugin. Blissful, would you ever do an anime style type of artwork? Yeah, it's something I've been thinking about more and more actually. I want to expand and explore, you know, and do some like hybrid type of stuff. Like whether, yeah, I start dabbling in some anime kind of things, but with my own spin on it, you know? Or like my own shapes. I mean, now going to be my own shapes anyway, but if you know what I mean. Exploring outside of what my usual more Disney-esque sort of shapes are, you know. And then mixing and then mashing them up. Doing like a Disney anime. Or not even Disney, I don't know, it's not even Disney necessarily. Like, yeah, it has those types of shapes, I guess. But it's not entirely what I'm going for. I don't even know what I'm going for, to be perfectly honest with you. Does it look cool to me? If yes, cool, then yep. I've succeeded in the task. Flame, do you prefer line art with textured brushes or smooth textureless brushes? I like both. It really depends on what I'm feeling. Yes and yes. Nothing wrong with either of them. If I'm going for like a more gritty kind of thing, yeah, maybe the textured line brush would be the way to go. For example, the chalk brush in Procreate's a nice one for that, if you haven't checked that one out before. How do you access the plugin in 2023? How you would access it any other way. So there's a README when you download it. You just got to copy the file into the plugins folder and then you're ready to go. And it works in 2024 as well, with the latest update. And it's really condensed, actually. You'll see it later on, like the whole thing is really nicely condensed. Francis has done a fantastic job with that, of just condensing everything down, making the color pickers nice and big, so you can see what's going on. All right, we've got the big shape, which is going to make it a lot easier for us to work within. Let's have a look. Demon, do you have any tips about drawing the face when you're drawing full body images? The details are so small, it's hard to get them correct for me. Really, there's no difference for me with drawing full body versus just like a bust or something with drawing the head. The same principles apply. It's having that understanding of the underlying structure, I think, is super important. Miss Gia V. Your art reminds me of Brad Bird a bit. Brad Bird. I'm fucking terrible with names. But I might have a look at Brad a bit later. All right. Let us knock down the background. So I'm just going to do values. I'm just going to practice, you know. What do I want? I might even just grab a big old softie and just give it the old gradient to begin with. So we've got the brightest brights up here, and then the not brightest brights at the bottom. Then we can just come through and have some fun. Merging Western and Eastern art styles, basically. Yeah, I've actually got an idea for like a mech character. I've never really done mech stuff before, so I was thinking about doing mech anime with a bit of Western stuff in there. I don't know. I've got an idea. Also got an idea for a sculpt as well with that, which I'm excited to play with. Will you ever live stream drawing in Procreate? Yeah, I've got nothing against that. It's just setting that up. I just haven't yet. This is just all set up for me and I'm just ready to go, and I pressed live. So, but nah, definitely. Ishimwe, but in the software, how do you bring it in the UI? Go into plugins. So you go window, find plugins, and then you should see a plugins section, and then click the plugins, and then you got filthy right there. Get filthy. All right, I'm going just for a top down, softer-ish light source, you know? So let's try and find those shadow shapes. So this is where it comes in super handy with the old filthy, shameless plug. Got nothing against that. If you got something that you're proud of that you've made, bloody, whether it's art, whether it's a product, whatever, bloody tell people about it, you know? Right, so even just that. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Gives us that indication of shadow, right? Maybe I want to actually, yeah, lighten it up a smidge. Give us some room to move. Oh, it's quite nice just having this chill session. I feel like I'm very relaxed compared to like everything's timed. Shit. Might do this for a few more streams. Have I tried working in Krita? Very briefly, but I've got to try it out more, I reckon. Blissful, watching a video and course on stylization really helped me. That's awesome. That's really great to hear. Chris Maycock, welcome. Brad Bird is the director of The Iron Giant and The Incredibles. Oh, what a bloody compliment then. Maxime Surgit, great to have you. Welcome. Blissful, unfortunately it won't, it's a Photoshop plugin. Clip Studio is a weird one with plugins. From what I've seen, it's pretty tricky to, if you don't speak Japanese, to add a plugin in there, which is unfortunate. And unfortunately, I don't speak Japanese because it's just the Japanese version, I think, that you can have plugins in. What I might do here, I see these pants being a darker hue. Let's make this multiplier. And this could be cool. This could be a good option because he could be in like the forest, right? He's like an archer. He could be in the forest and there could be some like dappled light over him. That's a good idea. Put a pin in that and we'll come back to that later. Right, so I'm thinking about isolating the pants to be a different sort of color or a value, right? So I'm thinking about local values. This confused the living shit out of me for the longest time. What the fuck is a local value? What does local even mean? Is it like next door? So it's really, it's like if you had a ball, right? Yeah, just a sphere. Oh, it's hard to, I'll explain it when I get to Blender. Blender is a really good way to explain it in Blender. All right, so we've got some really nice opportunities for some like dappled lights and different lighting scenarios, you know. Julia, fantastic to hear. Yeah, I reckon we've done a long sprint of like challenges. I think we'll do a couple of these chilled ones and we'll just go deeper and we'll just chat and just have a good time. Sort of, what's the word? Just roll into the week nicely. Oh, indigestion, coffee, come on. Also did some sketch, show you some sketch clay stuff yesterday. Just playing. Her face looks scuffed as anything. But I don't know how, because I can't yeah, it doesn't show up. Fantastic. I just wanted to slap some clay around yesterday. Something a bit different. All I've been doing is editing. All I've been doing is just editing, audio mixing, reshooting stuff. To give you a context on the YouTube videos, right? I didn't realize this, that a lot of people did this, but I've reshot this video 4 separate times. This one video that's coming out probably tomorrow. 4 bloody separate times. Probably an overkill. But I get the same feeling with drawings, right? It's like, if it's not right, it's not right. So just redo the thing. I'm not just going to try and polish a turd. Just get it how you want to get it. But also, it then pushes out the time to fucking releasing it. Chris Maycock, thank you. Yeah, so this is like this is a super sketchy sketch. The face is scuffed as anything, but I want to do like her. I showed it in another stream where I was using Procreate Dreams, where I was like trying to animate this like girl in like a mech suit. So she's kind of like a girl in a mech suit. I've got no idea what else, how else to describe that. But yeah, so then I thought, okay, well, why not do it like the Disney guys do and create a maquette of her? Still got a lot to work with, and then that whole process can turn into a YouTube video. Everything is bloody content. Everything is content. Which is fun though, I enjoy it. But it does slow stuff down a lot. So there's that to sort of take into account as well. Do you write videos or do you wing them? I write them. I write the videos. I've been developing I've only fucking posted 3 videos so far, but, so 4 in total once this one gets made. But I've just been doing a whole lot of research. And one of the biggest things that I've found with the success of a video of this very small data set, right, that I've got, is having a plan beforehand, or like a clear plan, not just of the video, but what the audience is going to get out of it. You know? And there's certain things I think you can do once you're more well known, like in the 2, 3, 4, 5, 600K sub versus someone new like me, right? So there's certain things that you can get away with. But I hear a lot of the times as well that people will actually do the thumbnail and title before they even shoot anything of the video or even start writing the video. Because that's arguably one of the more important things that you've got to get right, or people aren't going to click on the thing. So it's such a cool game. It's such a cool game. I love it. Obi's hobby. Have you been in an animation studio or something? Nope. I have not. I did do a very, very, very specific short thing for an animation studio, which I cannot talk about. That was last year, and that was because of Instagram. They just reached out. But no, I've never worked in a studio before in any real sort of capacity. This is all just, I did this because I like this stuff. It's bloody fun. I was doing this for a better part of 2 decades before really showing anyone. Just because it was good fun. Now I'm going to think about the occlusion shadows, right? I want to think about where are those sections where the light's going to find it hard to get into. Ben is so busy. Give us the wise sensei advice on time management. I'm so bad at it. I'm not the best at it either. I'm trying to get better. It's something I'm working on. But really, like, post-it notes. Like, my desk is full of post-it notes. And one of the things that I like to do before I go to sleep is write on a post-it note what I need to do for the next day, right? And I didn't do that last night, so I'm not perfect at this. But what's like the one thing that you did in the day that if you did that, it would be a successful day, and then do that thing. That's like one of the best little nuggets of advice that I've heard. Because I reckon a lot of people tend to try and jam pack everything. Oh, I've got like 20 things on the to-do list to do. It's like, who gives a shit? Is that those 20 things useful? Is it going to get you closer to your goals? You know, like, and you can bullshit yourself so easily. It's like, oh, I need to reply to this email and blah, 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 and do this and that. A lot of the times you don't. It can wait. What are your goals? What do you need to do to get closer to those goals? And then do that. And also, don't beat yourself up if you didn't get it done, because that doesn't help anyone. Doesn't help anything. It's something that I tend to do. I feel bad. It's like, oh shit, this day was wasted, blah, blah, blah. Just do something. Also, there's another thing. You got me on a ramble now. I like to now think of my days in like quarters, right? So let's say that I like just fuck off like half the day today, right? When it comes to like 2 o'clock, I feel like I've done nothing. That doesn't mean the rest of the day's completely gone. You know, we can still come back. There's still 2 quarters left of the game. Right? So try not to let the first part of the day dictate how the rest of the day is going to go. That's another little thing that I've been trying to do. Am I perfect at any of this? No chance. But just thinking about it and reminding yourself, because I'll forget it. I just got to remind myself every now and then. It's like, yeah, look, fuck it. Yeah, maybe I didn't get what I needed to get done before 2 p.m. Oh well, I'm here right now. Let's get after it. Look at the highest priority item and bloody go for it. Mixstar, what's happening, my friend? How you doing? I rarely practice colors or shading because I don't like the sketches. I would recommend doing it because I find, like, as much as I do a lot of line work and stuff, I see in shape a lot easier than I do in line, if that makes sense. Like in shape and color and value, I see a lot clearer in that. So I would recommend giving that a whirl. Don't be afraid to push past it. Draw over it. Like, the sketch is always going to be there. Go over the top of it. It doesn't cost anything. It's all up in your head. Because I used to not want to do color. I used to always just do black and white. I was a fucking idiot. Like, why? There was no reason. It was all just, oh, if it's not going to look good. Who cares? No one has to see it. MK, just curious if you're okay with answering, but from what you've seen, would you say an art career through your means is sustainable? Like, would you recommend it? I mean, I'm doing it myself, so I have no other reason. Like, I wouldn't not recommend it, but I'm not like a career advice person necessarily. I wouldn't, like, everyone's got their own thing that they want to do. My goals are going to be different to yours. I've got like plans set up for the next few years, you know. The benefit of the social media stuff though is not the numbers, not like how many likes you get on a fucking post. That's fantastic, mind you. I'm not saying that. I'm super grateful for the support that you guys have been giving me. But from a business side, and I've got to pay the bills and that kind of thing, it gives you freedom to not rely on someone else for your income. But in saying that, you are fully responsible for the stuff that you put out. So if the product's not good and it doesn't sell well, that's your issue. You know what I mean? If you just decide to not post for 6 months, people are going to forget. You know what I mean? So there's that kind of thing. There's definitely pros and cons to it. Whereas if you're at a job, you can show up, do the work, go home, stop thinking about it. I'm always thinking about this stuff. I'm never not thinking about this stuff. Content, what's next, products to put out, YouTube videos, that sort of stuff. It's always going. And art as well, and getting better at that sort of stuff. Because without the want to do that, I don't think I'd be... it's not sustainable. If you're doing stuff that you don't enjoy, that would be something. But yeah, what I was saying before is, yeah, something that you've got to get over as well with this sort of stuff is like the social media shit, at least for me, is the numbers, right? Because as I was saying, I'm super grateful. It's fantastic. Like I'm very, very grateful for them, but I try not to look at them. I try not to look at the numbers because they can fuck with your head. Say, for example, a post that I put out tomorrow does fantastic. Oh, fuck, I can talk about this forever, and it's probably boring as shit for people, so I'll just stop. But it's like, you've got to try not to look at the numbers and focus on the thing that... Focus on the value that you can give to your audience and something that you enjoy yourself. Because I can talk about the content stuff for ages. But yeah, because if a post doesn't do well, or quote unquote do well, but it's all in comparison. Because when I started, if I got like 100 likes on a post, I was like, holy fuck, that's like 100 people. Holy shit, that's awesome. Now, if like I don't get, let's say, I don't know, 3,000 likes, but I don't really look at likes. But when I was concerned about this stuff, right, if I didn't get like 3,000 likes in the first like hour, it's a complete failure. And I might as well just delete the thing, you know? But it's a stupid mindset. It is but you can't also, it's human nature. You get acclimatized to where you're at. So there's like a big mental game to this stuff as well. Because like if a video doesn't do well, is that going to stop me posting video? No. Like, and then you can start to reframe how you think about what doing well means. Right? I've got content that I'll put out just to keep the momentum. I call it like momentum content, where I have no expectations of the numbers and I just post it so I keep the habit. And that's a success in itself, just posting it, because it might have been a very busy week, shit happened in my personal life, whatever. I posted it, it's good, it's done, that's a success. Right? So it's also reframing what a successful post is. But yeah, anyway. You got me on a ramble. My deepest apologies. Raf Aesthetics, thank you, appreciate you. Control H hides the selection. It does. Yeah, good tip. It's 9:50 a.m. in Japan. My game is just started. Nice. That's actually pretty helpful advice. As much as I try to give myself grace, I still tend to be a perfectionist, especially with my success goals. So I'll try out that post-it note tip. Yeah, I've tried all the note-taking apps, all the fucking to-do list, this and that. Just having this in front of me is so much better. Or I'm just getting old. One of the two. Blissful, best advice, the very best. You're an OG, Blissful. You know, I see what you did there. Can someone translate Heroes da Terra for me in chat? This is fun. Thank you for letting me ramble and just talk shit. I'm also going to get some guests on in the new year as well. So they might be streaming at the same time. And then we'll just be talking through Discord. And we'll just be chatting back and forth. Going back and forth with chat. Which I think will be fun. Oscar Martinez, your art inspired me to draw more. Thanks. Greetings from Spain. Is that what Heroes said? Or is that what you said? My apologies. Thank you either way. Ryan Wu, hello from China. Love your art. Thank you so much. Welcome. Great to have you. Okay. So see how we got a bit of volume. Got some values cranking, right? Dejena 13, thanks for popping in. Useful rant about social media, but glad it's somewhat useful. I do want to really start hammering the content in the new year. Really see how far I can push it. Because I've got big plans. And there is no other option apart from success. I want to make a studio, like a studio space. Sort of like what a big inspiration was, what's his face? Oh, what's his face? 1000. What he's done. Buying the warehouse so he can sort of shoot stuff, start selling physical products, like selling his art. That's something that's going to be happening next year, right? But it all hinges on really, like, without any of you guys, it just wouldn't happen. That's why I'm like eternally grateful. Felipe, Ignacio, I'd like to see your designs animated. Yeah, me too. That'll be cool. I like to animate them myself. Eventually. Have you got many close friends that are artists? Yeah, a couple that I've met online over the last couple of years, but in person, no, not really. That was the coolest thing. One of the cool sort of things I wasn't expecting was meeting people and sort of having the similar thoughts, similar like struggles, social media stuff, blah 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 blah. Like it was very cool to sort of meet some of these people. Oh, Heroes de Terra is just being silly, is not worth translating what he says. I appreciate it, Black Ghost. Heroes, you cheeky bugger. Alright. Let's get some volume going on the pants. And then let's crack open Blender and see what damage we can do in there. This might be a very disjointed stream. Maybe we come back to this guy next week. I'm not sure how far I'll be able to go with him today. But you never know. Now, a quick little tip, because we added that sort of gradient going up, so the lightest lights are up here, the darkest darks are down here, or like there's like a gradient sort of fall off of the light. Even though these planes of like the pants might be facing upwards, they're not going to be anywhere near as bright as like even these ones up here. All right, so that's something to take into account when we're doing these. What's your reference for this character? This was based on a reference from the 12 Days of Proco. Recommend checking out the last stream if you hadn't. I drew him on the last stream. It was just like a reference pack guy. And that's about it. Ace of Keys. What software to stream to IG? I use a OBS plugin called Vertical. Highly recommend it. It's free. Go check it out. British Giraffe. Great to have you back. Welcome. Gonna add some occlusion shadows in here. Ace of Keys, I appreciate it. Also love the content. I appreciate you. Thanks for popping in. Blender scares me. You and me both, my friend. You and me both. All right, so we've got a base. Let's crack open Blender. Let's do the thing. Enough messing around. Let's see what damage we can do. Oh, this lighting is terrible. Look at them bags. Oh. Okay. Blender time. G Noble, welcome. All right, let's sort of put you guys over here maybe. All right, so what do I need to do for like a full body? This I don't think I've done a full body before. So this is going to be tricky as fuck. I need the reference. So let's just take a screenshot. Let's do it quick and dirty. Just bam. And then I think I can just drag and drop that into Blender. Okay. Item. $90, thank you very much. And let's zero you out. I'm purely guessing here. I'm assuming this is the way to do it. So then we have mother. There we go. Caraboom. Great to have you. Okay. So, Toodaloo. Default cube. Now we're going to need orthographic views here, I believe. I'm going to make use of my number pad, which doesn't sound like much, but I've never had a number pad up until recently. The character's born from the box. Nah, we just nuked the box. Loadsy, great to have you. Okay, where the fuck do I start? Do I just, we can do it the quick and dirty way. We just start pulling, or do I do it separate shapes? Maybe I just start doing separate shapes to begin with. This could end absolutely fucking terribly. I know there's going to be such a better way of doing this. Well, we'll do it live. Yeah, I've not updated either. And this is the buggiest version I've got right now, so that's fun. Maybe I'll really like separate the shape. Like if we're doing this properly, I'd let's grab another one. You throw him, scale him down here. And just, there's got to be a setting to automatically do mirror. I guarantee you there is. Right, so it's like, all right, I'm trying to follow the concept close-ish, because we're gonna like push and pull and play with it all. We're just doing UV spheres. Hey. Yeah, we'll just have the head there. Now there's these other things. There's like a meta ball, right? I've seen these about the place. Never used them. So now I'm just gonna give them a whirl. I don't know what in the shit, how you can like scale them like this. Is there a way to pull them? Or do I not do this and let's just do a cube? Cube, scale it down. Let's get blocky with this, boy. Now I want to do some local manipulation. That'll do. That'll do. Alright, so then let's global flip that one around. No. Rotate on the Z. There we are. Excuse me. You have to scale it locally. Ah, right. Get you, G Noble. Legend. Oh, my computer is absolutely humming along. That's fine. We'll keep that there. So we're just going to block him out. Like real simple. What is this? Okay, I don't know what I've pressed. Can anyone tell me what I've pressed that does this? What? It's like I've got free movement without pressing anything. I want to get back to this eventually, but I don't know what it is. I pressed R twice. See, how the fuck would I know that? That's awesome. Oh, great. Fantastic. Appreciate you, Chatty. Chatty. My apologies if I butchered your name. You have my respect for attempting something new live. I suppose that's the interesting thing about live. You get to see the entire thing, not just straight to the happy ending. TM, good luck. I appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, that's it. It's going to be an interesting one. So it's going to be slow in the beginning, but then we're going to start merging stuff and flipping stuff around. Oh, I don't hate this. This is cool. All right, so global, fucking bada bing, bada boom. Fucking local. Scale on the Z, no. Oh, I don't know. That's fine. That'll just the hand. I want to squish it. I mean, look at that. Oh, Christ. Let's go back to that. See, look. We're fine here. And then... Oh, hold on. Oh, geez. We've got some work to do. All right. Let's just scooch him over. That'll do. Make it blocky. Oh, G Noble, you're a fucking legend. Why don't I just use a mirror modifier? Because I don't do this often, that's why. All right. Mirror on the Y, I believe. No. Good call. Good call. Are you going to design it completely in Blender? Not completely. I reckon I might flip back and forth, you know? That's the beauty of it. We can... The thing, I would just love to like right click, copy modifiers, but we've got to do this link thing, I think. So we go this one, and then this one, and then Command L, and then link copy modifiers, I think. Yeah. So it's just some weird stuff that you've got some weird loops, hoops, loops, schloops that you've got to dick around with until you get what you want. And we've got to balance them out and everything, so. Yeah, Loadsy, that's fine. We can always desymmetrize them later. This is just going to speed up the process instead of doing one after the other. It's a good call. Gurpreet, I've been practicing anatomy for a while, but not sure if I'm doing it right or not. I mean, sometimes I do anatomy breakdowns like torso simplification and all, but can't seem to get anywhere. I also copy artist drawings like yours. Can you suggest some good sources for practicing anatomy? Any artists? Anything? Because I don't know if I'm practicing it in a right way. I mean, really that's a part of it, is to figure out if it's looking right or not. You've got to start developing your eye to see, does this look correct? And I would add in just some real simple, like simplification of forms into your practice as well. Michael Hampton for anatomy is beautiful. I love his work. Absolute legend. Like just from the simplicity of the shapes. Oh, few are as good as him. So yeah, go check out Michael Hampton. He's got an Instagram. I think it's under Steve Hampton, if I'm not mistaken as well. So yeah, go check that out. Bloody legend. All right, let's duplicate this one down. So he's got a little bit of a hoop. Shit. We've got a ways to go. Nah, super, we're just getting stuck right into it. For better or worse. Okay, we need a neck, and then I think we've got all the base shapes. Morpho books, yeah, they're good. They're good. One of them that I really liked, I can't remember the one where it actually showed the fat distribution. Everyone like does super ripped like anatomy and that kind of thing. That one actually showed you the distribution of fat, which was cool. Let's do this, scaling down, fucking throw him up here, bada bing, bada boom. All right, we've got some bloody work to do, I'll tell you what. And this is why I think people do like the T-pose and it's like orthographic and it's not, doesn't have a perspective and stuff because it's tricky. All right, now let's fix some of this shit up. This is disgusting. All right, we need to get some balance here. And I mean, what even is this? Let's get sculpt mode. Does need some shoulders eventually. The shoulders are down there apparently. Apparently. I mean, he's got a saggy bum right there. That's not something that we need. Wait, what have I made here? Ah, nice, JD. Yep, you've got one. We're in the trenches together. Oh, super trooper. Bloody well done, my friend. So around a bit of good news, I got hired onto an indie game project and as an animator. Pretty excited. That's fantastic. That's so cool. Did that happen to come through doing YouTube? Or did you apply for it? I'd be interested to know. Beautiful, super. That's fantastic. Ah, congrats. Hold on, someone's turned the aircon on. Give me 2 secs. Back. I mean, I do need, it's getting bloody hot in here, but I've got a makeshift freaking lighting set up and it's just going to rustle with the fans and stuff, so. Let's take a look here. Slowly coming together. Still looks like shit, but we'll fix that, hopefully. See, now it's starting to look a bit more human. A little bit less shit. He's got... What is this? Okay. He needs some shoulders. Metable. Yeah, so how do we use these metaballs again? Because I feel like they could be pretty useful for like blocking stuff out, right? But do you like duplicate? Ah, you duplicate them, that's right. So then they're like... Okay. Now what do we do? Oh, then we've got to turn them into a mesh, and it gets. Yeah, let's not. Let's just keep with primitives. Let's not be too fancy with it. Let's just do a UV sphere. Old faithful. Yeah, metaballs are weird. A little bit of everything. Welcome. Oh, Blender, notice any changes from the update? I haven't updated it, to be honest, and I don't think I use it enough to really notice much. But yeah, I should really update, if I'm honest. Camilla Teresas, nice blocking. Really enjoy watching your stream while doing my homework. Ah, thank you. Thank you very much. Great to have you. I'm doing this the wrong way. No, 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 no. Yes, copy modifiers. Okay. And then I'll come down here. And because we've got a bit of the old forearm, it's got a particular shape to it. We can kind of, so this is all with the plan to merge these into one another, right? And we've got to scoochy those ones probably around there, I reckon. Something like that. Then we come here, flatten that out. All right. What have I done? Let me hide that. Okay. Let's. What is it? Shift R or R? And we could. Just start blocking some stuff out. Like this chest would sort of wrap into the deltoid. Sort of make room for his clavicle maybe. It's a little bit intense. Like a lot intense actually. What? I do love the look of ZBrush's like material on it though. That's something I can't quite replicate in Blender yet. Ryan Wu, just being curious. If it's too personal, just ignore it. Okay. When did you decide to become an artist? I didn't decide. The life chose me. But now, I don't know. I've been drawing on and off for most of my life. And then I just started posting to Instagram. Coming on 2 years now. And then I saw the opportunity to run with it. And here we are. Very, very, very simplified version, but that's kind of, yeah, in a nutshell. Fun fact, you can turn a cube into a sphere by first using a subsurf modifier. Yes, I do. Oh, using the cast modifier. What's a cast modifier? Turn a cube into a sphere. Interesting. Let us try this. Cube. Subsurf. I've done this before many a time. And then where is cast? Cast. Deform. Whoa. Okay. Dope. That's cool. Thank you, guys. I like it. I'm just going to join these two. Probably a terrible idea. But you know what? Now this is going to be a pain in the ass to try and sculpt his head turn that way, but we're just going to block him out to begin with. To begin with. Hey Ben, by materials, do you mean the matte caps? No, I mean like let's have a look like here. I can almost guarantee that's what am I looking at? Where's a good example? Like this kind of, it's almost like a vinyl character, like a vinyl toy kind of thing that seems to just happen with ZBrush models. Like this sort of stuff, like this super smooth, really nice, almost polished matte finish. Do you know what I mean? That's really appealing to me. But I also can't be bothered learning a whole new program in ZBrush just to get that look. Working in the shading editor. Okay, I get you. It could be a matte cap thing as well. Like if you look at someone working in ZBrush, there's just a certain look to it. Even the way that it smooths out, it looks very like vinyl toy-ish, which I like. You make the shader and then sculpt it in Eevee, but that's probably going to kill you. Yeah. Yeah. I reckon you're right. Super. Let's manipulate these balls. And let's figure out a different way how to say that. Let's get the shoulders on better. Let's do that. Then maybe we will come here. Sculpt mode. What we want to do, let's just grab everything. Oh, what is it? Command T? No, Shift A. No, Command A. Rotation and scale. Oh, fuck. Rotation and scale. No. How do I deselect? There we go. Rotation and scale. Okay, so now when we do this stuff, it's going to sculpt mode. It's going to be squares. I definitely don't. Yep. Good call. Say spheres instead of ball. Okay, manipulating the spheres. Good one. Good looking out. Come on, J. So we've joined these ones. Then let's sculpt mode. Whip them back in there. Why does my Saul Goodman, why does your camera look like you're an NPC? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. How so? It's AI, super advanced, crazy town AI. It's like you're in a bad video game. I got no idea. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. Let's figure out this head maybe. Let's get all the rotations and everything. Item, oh no. Have I rotated? Oh, because I've just, fuck. Because I zeroed them all out. Let's create another head. For me, it's like Toy Story aesthetic. Huh. Yeah, look, I don't know what to tell you. Apart from my apologies. All right, so I'm just getting the base down. It's got a pretty square jaw. It's definitely got to be bigger and further down. I appreciate it, Saul. Let's just whack a nose on him. What's going to be the easiest way to do this? Ariel Anabitat. Hey Ben, when is the next update for the Filthy plugin? I left some feedback on Discord. We did have a recent update. I'll check out the Discord. I haven't popped in there as of late in the Filthy feedback. No, I appreciate you doing that though. What's going to be the best way? This isn't even centered, is it? Dicks. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want this to mirror on the face. Yeah, let's just mirror it. No. That. It's probably the most janky fucking way of doing it, but it's how I'm going to do it. We do want clipping. Thank you. Oh, it's not even on the bloody face. Heatherline, do you have experience modeling 3D characters before? Yeah, I've practiced it. Dabbling around in Blender. Super, super helpful for my 2D work. And it was a precursor to me sort of getting into sculpting traditionally as well. Jeez, it's schnoz, I tell you what. There we go, that's better. Okay. Now we've got something to show a little bit of the head direction. Now let's add some cylinders. It would be great if I could just have like a library of these assets instead of remaking them every bloody time. I could save a. Oh mate, hey, hold on. Hold the phone. As I'm thinking about it, can we save some time? Nah, I probably can. I can't be bothered testing that out. Let's just do it from scratch. It's good practice. Blissful, Ben is a GTA game character. Oh, I tell you, GTA 6, cannot wait. Cannot wait. I'm gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to wait. But it's gonna be so sick. That's gonna make people's careers, you realize that? Like people are gonna build their careers off of GTA 6. Just the amount of content that you can make. Oh, Sol, that's fantastic. I practiced your technique that you've done with the Joker and other characters, and I've learned a lot from it, and how mind-blowing color theory is. Yeah, color theory is wicked. How far am I taking this block out? I don't know. Till I get tired of it. Probably another hour. So we'll see. We shall see. And then this might be, I might come back next stream and we take him further and we go back and we draw sort of the side profiles and sort of, yeah, keep playing with it. I reckon that could be kind of fun. See how we go. What the far are we back? What? And why is this gone all fucking not symmetrical on me? Oh God. There's a way to fix it. That's fine. So yeah, there's a Discord in the description. Alright, so we want to, let's scooch old mate back here. Go away. Get out of here. There we are. So we can work on the back. Ah, you fucking, we just, there we go. Right, let's think about this. How would the back actually be? Need the lats. Coming through here. This is so fun, this shit. Just like drawing, sculpting. Now I don't want to mess around too much without the reference because we could easily just screw it all up. Let's think about this. So these arms, he's going to have... See, we've just got to make some of this stuff up, right? He's going to have triceps. Speaking of, we've got to go to the gym today. Chest and triceps today. The art of Leora. Appreciate you. Whoa, them tries. Okay, now I'm kind of lost. Where do we go from here? Maybe we've got to apply that. Or maybe no, not applying it. We need another UV sphere. Let's squish it. So this is going to be the pants. no, gotta mirror it. Thank you. Okay, so we've got to have the balance here. So there's got to be a bit of a curve. A bit more of a curve to him. So maybe he's... because he's like stepping backwards, so we've got to have a bit of like that thing going on. Oh Jesus Christ! Here, Control J. There we go. So this is where the lats are a big thing for placing the arms. It's where, like, particularly in 2D, like my 2D work. Making sure they sort of fit the arms. They don't just like plug onto the torso. They just sort of pop in nicely. Oh, these dogs. Apologies for the dogs. What's it going that way? There we go. See, so much of, so let's parent this to the head just to see how it's feeling. Let's move the origin to, like, I don't know, here. What? Ugh. Yeah, let's apply that. And the apply that. Now these aren't connected. Beautiful. Parent object to that object. Thank you. Now we rotate that way, and then we can rotate it kind of where he's like that. So now that gives a little bit more character pretty quickly, but I'm going to go back to what it was before because it's going to be easier to sculpt. We're getting somewhere. Slowly but surely we're getting somewhere. Whoa. So let's start blocking out the chest. Chest and the torso. Slowly getting there. Looks like cottage cheese at the moment, which is a shame. Catch you later, Super, and congrats on the gig. Alright, so I'm not joining any of these. Probably won't for a while. What I do want to do is just keep sculpting, keep molding. Oh, Chady. I've been there many times, many times. This needs some more volume around here, around the waist. And the back here. It's a little bit squished for my liking. Purple Ann, great to have you. Even looking at it, one thing I found with sculpting, you've got to look at it at all different angles. Because one angle you might like nail it, and then you look at it at a completely different angle and it just looks scuffed as anything. It's like flipping your layers, 1000%, 1000%. All right, let's think about this back here. It's going to be some shoulder blades. Now I've got to remember this is stylized as well, so I don't want to go full realism mode, you know. So we got the traps here. And this is where reference would come in handy. Just a little bit of anatomy reference could help a lot. Oh no, what we want to do with the head. Olan Rewaju Kalapo. Hey Ben, love catching your live sessions. Always so satisfying. Just started learning Blender 2, and I hope I can finally reach this level. I appreciate you. Blender's just a practice game. There's just so many buttons, you know. So many bits and bobs. But then, just like Photoshop or anything, you realize that you only use a very, very small percentage for most of your day-to-day sort of work, if that makes sense. I'm actually standing on a bloody surface, so let's get them flat-ish, flat enough. Yeah, definitely. Surpass. So what am I trying to do? These are going to be annoying, I think. These are going to be annoying. Maybe I got to model them. Probably modeling them is going to be better. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. All right, I might hang out for another 20 minutes and see how we get on. Hey boys, I'm Dragong. This is so cool. I've been practicing Blender all day and this is so inspiring to see. Blender's bloody fun. It can be frustrating, but it's very, very fun. No, worth sticking with it, I reckon. B Clayeb13, g'day from Adelaide, another Adelaide person. Welcome. It's bloody hot today, isn't it? I'm from Adelaide as well. Devi Animations presents, I think it's interesting how there are so many resources for drawing, forms, lighting, etc., concrete stuff, but you rarely hear about resources for stylization. Like most artists I know usually get their influence from other artists, properties, but so do those artists and their inspiration. Seems like it goes on forever. Young artists usually get hung up on finding their style. Where would you point them to, Ben? Exactly what you said there. You've got to look at your influences and what gets you going, you know? But I see that gap in the market as well, and I'm working on a course as well that's not necessarily going to be how to draw like me, although you could use it for that. It's finding the stylization that you like, or finding the style that you like, how I would study, different ways that different artists simplify things, how to push and pull things, alongside some fundamental stuff that you need as well. So yeah, no, it's a very good observation. And the cool thing with doing this stuff, we could literally throw a light source on here. And we can then learn. Anna Louise Cruz, would you recommend art as a career path nowadays considering AIs? I would. I'm doing it because I'm not competing with the AIs. It's it depends on what sort of avenue of art that you're going down. But there's so many like things that are up in the air, right? I think there's going to be a swing back more into like traditional or like people doing stuff. There's also a lot of legal things that I've heard a lot of studios and stuff, they're not touching this, they're not touching AI. At least in the short term because of the legal ramifications. Like it's, but I think nowadays also with social media, the generic or the typical art career path looks very different. There's a lot more opportunity because you're going to stand out because you're you, right? Your personality is going to come through, the way that you see things, your own life experiences, and that's something that AI can't take away, regardless of how good it gets. So yeah, I think so. I'm doing it. I'm trying to carve out a career navigating this AI world. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more how would you say? I would personally say that there's going to be a lot more, there should be a lot more emphasis on you marketing yourself as an artist and getting yourself out there as a person, content-wise. I'll be doing that anyway, AI or not. And I think because there's going to be an ocean of just like generic AI shit, that's going to be perfect for making you stand out. So I think it's more of an opportunity. Like for me, when everyone's freaking out and running and being like, oh no, it's going to destroy everything, I'm looking the other way. I'm like, all right, where are the opportunities here? But I mean, for me, giving career advice as well, I don't really feel comfortable with that because I've not come into this very traditionally, right? I started posting on Instagram and here we are in a nutshell, right? But that's why I believe, or like I've seen the power of building an audience. You can then you've got a lot more freedom. I also think there's going to be like a renaissance with 2D animation as well. I reckon that's going to become pretty popular as like the tools like Procreate Dreams have come out. It makes it so much easier just to get started with it. The barrier to entry drops. But you still need skill. So it's like, yeah, nice little combo. But yeah, I think a skill that you got to learn regardless of AI, marketing yourself. Because that is a skill that can be learnt and that needs to be learnt. Marketing, business, get strong with that, I think. But I'm only talking from my experience. and what I'm doing. Stephanie, I just had one of my lectures mention AI as being a useful tool we can use for our work, which really caught me off guard. Yeah, some people think that. Like, it can be a useful. I don't see why it couldn't be. But I mean, if I've seen like contracts and people showing contracts where they say there is to be no like generated AI reference images to be used in production work. So it's like, yeah, it really depends it depends on your goals with it, right? And a lot of people are concerned about, the freelance space with like people using AI over hiring an illustrator. Those people weren't ever gonna like use an illustrator in the first place. And if they were, you probably don't want to have them as clients anyway, you know. But now I'm going into a realm where I don't really know what I'm talking about because I haven't done too much freelance stuff. But just thinking logically, and I've worked in freelance with software design and that sort of stuff, and it's, yeah, there's certain types of clients that you just don't want. Whoa, where are we going? Let's save this shit quick before it crashes. Blender. Standing guy. Yep, I'm going to remember what that is. If you could answer any tips on blending line art and color. I get stuck on if I'm using layers right and how to properly blend the two. It all comes down to the look that you're after. If you want to get rid of the line work completely, I oftentimes just merge everything down. Excuse me. Oh, got a bit of indigestion. I would just merge everything down into the one layer and then just use that as like an alpha or like a clipping mask. And then when you paint, you've got to fill in those lines anyway, like particularly on the outside. I tend to keep the line work separate for a while, as I'm like building up the colors underneath. So like, for example, like here, I'll keep the line work on top for quite a while, even though that I'm doing the colors. And then I can decide, do I want to keep some of the line work? Do I not? And I'll get it looking good, and I'll even turn the line work off to see if these 3D shapes are starting to look correct, if you know what I mean. And then it's really just a decision. There's no right. You're sort of saying like, if you're using layers properly and how to properly blend the two, it's a complete style decision. So it's a little bit tricky to say what's correct and what's not, if you know what I mean. Okay. No worries, Julia. Debbie Animations, yeah, that's, I mean, you can get me talking on that for freaking ever. It's fantastic questions. I kind of stumbled upon my niche, quote unquote. Like, there's a bunch of schools of thought with that, right? Like finding your niche. I think your niche is going to be a big part of you, like what you like to do, the combination of things. Right? I like to sculpt, I like to draw, I like to paint in a stylized way, right? And that's just the start. I started off just trying to figure this stuff out. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out and just sharing my like things that I've learned, right? And then I just kept navigating to see what was working, what wasn't, if people like this, that, and the other, and what I was having fun with at the same time. So that's how I've kind of, and then I started to show my face and sort of talk more, and you've almost got to find your unfair advantage of like things that you've learned so far in your life as well, like video editing. I learned video editing in my previous work, so I can use that to then get myself out there. Looking at the sort of landscape of the content space at the moment, how could I differentiate myself? But again, it's so hard to give advice when I don't know. I've got no context, you know what I mean? It's a bit tricky. But I think a big thing that you've got to think about is how interested are you in the thing that you're putting out. If you're like super interested in what you're doing, that's going to come across. I think you can easily see that when people are kind of just phoning it in, and they're just like, okay, yeah, here's what I'm doing today, blah blah blah. But yeah, from like a niche, I don't know. It's a tough question, because it's like I like drawing, I like painting, I like sculpting, traditionally and digitally, in a stylized way. I'm not afraid to be me as well, so I'll like swear on stream, I'll talk shit, there's that to it as well. I try not to have like an online persona versus a me. So there's that kind of thing as well, which makes content a lot easier. There's always a little bit of, I guess you could say, not performance, but it's just like if you're hanging around with your friends from high school versus your parents versus your partner's parents versus, there's always like a little bit of a change. But yeah, I want to get my thoughts together on this sort of stuff, really. And sort of share that side of stuff as well. Yeah, Devi, definitely. Because you're a person, right? People connect with people. They don't, and this is why I'm not too concerned with like that. Like, yeah, people connect with people, right? even down, like I've even seen that if I have my hand, or you see a cursor drawing, or yeah, you see my hand drawing something on a time lapse, or you see the cursor on the screen, or you see the Photoshop page with the brush there, versus just uploading a time lapse, say from Procreate. The other one performs so much better because you can see someone actually doing it. That's something that I've sort of observed over time. Again, comes back to it's a person doing it. Because I don't know if you remember when people started to do those AI sort of, what's the word? Like avatars, like their profile pictures. It was like big for like a week, and then everyone got sick of them. You mentioned earlier to not care about metrics, but I guess when you start out, you need to know what people want out of your work. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's not like I said, it's not like I discard the metrics completely. I only use what's going to help me, right? So, and I'll put things in place where if I know, for example, I will post something and then I'll reply to some comments, and then I'll ghost it and I won't look at how it performs until a few days later, until I've got another piece of content ready to go. So if it quote unquote doesn't perform well, that next piece of content isn't being influenced by my like, oh, this one's got to be the best, better than the last sort of thing. So there's those kinds of things. Also looking at the goals of the piece of content. So if I'm trying to say promote my Gumroad tutorial, links in my bio, and I do a carousel, right? That's oftentimes going to perform less in likes versus if I drew Spider-Man. If you looked at it from a likes perspective, Spider-Man outperforms it 2, 3, 4x. But if you look at the saves, if you look at the saves on an individual post, like the Spider-Man versus the carousel, the amount of value that I put into the carousel for people that are my audience that might be interested in the Gumroad tutorial, the carousel is going to outperform the Spider-Man one by far. Why? Because likes are so easy to do. They don't give you much insight into how well a post is done, if that makes sense. At least this is the way that I think about it, because it's so easy and it's so hard to know if people just like Spider-Man or if they just like the color or what. It's just like tap, tap, done. But if someone's gone and saved it, there's an indication there of value. It's like, all right, I want to save it. I want to look at that and learn from that later. And this is where like the education market, which I'm dabbling in, I like to think of I'm sharing my journey. I'm not saying like how to do this is how to do that. It's more like, hey, this is what I've discovered. Come hang out and check it out, and hopefully you get something from it. That's the way I want to position myself. But yeah, then that's what I'm talking about, where like focusing on the metrics that matter. And how can you figure out or get an indication of how valuable the piece of content is when you put it out, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I'm getting rambly. But anyway, with that, yeah, monetize your knowledge versus your artwork is so valuable. Yes, but I think doing both as well. So this year I'm monetizing my artwork. That's what I'm going to try and do. I've never done it before. So that's like with prints and sculpts and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a fun game trying to figure it out. But yeah, it's super powerful. But look, guys, I'm running out of steam, so I reckon we'll leave it there. But we will come back to this one so we can start really sculpting in some more of this anatomy. No, my pleasure, Debbie. I love talking about this stuff, so it's thank you for asking. So yeah, a nice little block in. We threw a bit of value on him, but yeah, this stuff takes a while to do properly. So I might even work on him in my own time. We'll see how we go. But with that, before we go, Debbie, speaking about marketing, my Gumroad tutorial. If you like this stylized stuff, I'm going to throw some links in chat for you, where you can find me. You can go to beneblin.com, find all my stuff, right? So that's the tutorial. 8 hours, 10 chapter walkthrough tutorial of stylizing this guy. All right, I've also got a 40-page PDF field guide for you, and some 3D models, which will help out with sort of understanding some of his shapes and forms in 3D. So you can start to think in 3D, kind of like I do. If you liked that Photoshop plugin, the filthy Photoshop plugin, you can check that out. Automatically fills lasso, shape tool shapes in Photoshop, and you can also do hue shifts as well. So it will sort of like give you a variation of different colors within the same values and all that sort of stuff. So it's very cool. Something that I've developed along with my good friend Francis. Speaking of, we've got a podcast. You might have noticed that I love talking about content. Francis and I have a podcast called Make Now, Think Later. So you can check that out here. So this is where we chat all these things, real numbers. You can get it wherever you get a podcast from. We're on there, Spotify, all that good stuff. And I guess the last thing is the Discord. If you want to join the community, we oftentimes do, like, we share our work in progresses. The link's in the description for that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on. So yeah, the challenges that we have, people posting here, is fantastic. So if you want to go back and forth with some fellow artistas, feel free. And you know where to find me. Ben Eblin, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. You're smart people, you know what's up. So with that being said, I will catch you all in the next one. I stream every week, Monday, 10:30 a.m. Australian Central Daylight Time. And yeah, I will catch you. Yeah, the Discord's free. The Discord is free. So I will catch you in the next one. All right. Have a good one, guys.